welcome back to the spoiler cast for this very special episode. I don't know where I was going with that. Because I should have said the very special episode of the spoiler cast. But whatever. My name is Tobias, and with me as always is my sister and trusted co-host Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello. And I mean, you know from the title and from my great Australian accent, or maybe it's more New Zealand, I'm not sure. We're talking about Furiosa.
A Mad Max story.
A Mad Max
saga.
Yeah.
Saga.
Which, I don't know why they had to put that there. Like, I guess for brand
everyone can tell.
Yeah, exactly, everyone can tell.
By the visual.
Yeah, we should just get right into it, I think, because it's kind of late. You have to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about the movie. That's it.
Yes.
So no dilly-dallying. Fang it, let's go.
Let's get straight to it. What do you think of it?
Yeah, well, first of all, of course, written and directed by Mastermind George Miller, also co-written by Nicola Thoris, starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, and some other people. Not really anyone you recognize. Yeah. What did I think of Furiosa, a Mad Max saga? TM, copyright Disney. No, it's not Disney. It's Warner Brothers. Sorry. Hot take. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Now that was briefly what I told you on the train. Like,
yes.
I have to say something. It's unfairly judged because it is the sequel. It's a prequel, but it's the next movie after Mad Max Fury Road, which is it's not even an argument. It's one of the best movies ever made. Not best action movies, best movies ever made.
Yes.
In terms of just style, direction, pacing, composition, music, everything. It is just so good. And this is, for all intents and purposes, a pretty good Mad Max movie. Honestly, it reminds you more of the classic Mad Max movies than Fury Road did.
Yeah.
It's just that it's following up Fury Road. So you're judging it against Fury Road, which then it doesn't hold a candle. Sorry.
George Miller co-wrote this one.
Mm-hmm.
And he directed this one.
Mm-hmm.
He also wrote Fury Road and the original Mad Max.
All the Mad Maxes, I think.
He's uncredited for Road Warrior.
He is?
For some reason.
Oh, for writing, but not directing.
Yeah, for writing, yeah.
And then I think he technically directed Beyond the Thunderdome, but had to, quit halfway through or something. So, but
that one's not even listed, so...
Oh, okay.
Wait, I'm on writer, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know he didn't write down. Beyond Thunderdome.
He directed Witches of Eastwick. Cool.
Yes. Yeah, so there's two directors for him, George Miller and George Ogilvy, who had to take over. And Terry Hayes and Byron Kennedy helped write it. Yeah.
But yeah, he's still, yeah. And
that was because, I don't know if he, got burned out or something. He just, because I know he didn't want to make Beyond Thunderdome to begin with. So he kind of, just gave up halfway through. And
he's George, fuck it, I'm done, bye.
Yeah, and George Ogilvy had to take over. But that's not what we're talking about.
No, I never realized that the original writer-director was involved even in Fury Road.
Oh.
I thought that was a new whatever, because it was so different. Not so different, but so modern.
It is very different. I mean, there's definitely things you can recognize throughout all now 5 movies.
Yeah.
One of them being that wonderful, I'm not exactly sure what you call it. It looks kind of like, they're cutting out frames, it's not quite 24 frames. They filmed it in 24 frames, but they're only showing 22 frames. So everything just moves a little jittery, especially when they're trying to move fast.
Yes.
And that's that style that obviously was used in the older movies to make everything look like it's going faster.
Exactly.
But then they kind of kept that to keep that frenetic style that they had invented, but made a thing with the original movies.
It's been a while since I watched Fury Road, but I don't remember feeling like that was a thing that bugged me in Fury Road. However, it bugged me in Furiosa.
Oh, okay.
Because It looked like cheap CGI at moments.
Yes, that's because it was. I don't know if it's cheap, but because it was CGI a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of CGI, a lot of green screen in Fury Road. Like obviously, because it's such an art piece. You can't make that in real life. It's fake, you know.
Yeah.
But here it felt like they did it even more, especially like the first half hour felt like it was all shot in a studio. More or less. And we'll get to that later when we talk about where I think maybe studio interference. I'll say this also. I've done zero research because I wanted to go in pretty much blind other than having watched a trailer or two. So I've done zero research for this one. I just wanted to experience the movie. But I think there was studio meddling. Or that he just felt like something's missing and they went back and filmed stuff. But we'll get to that. But yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes when they try to make that effect, they're like cutting out certain frames with the CGI. It just felt like the CGI stuff just sped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And it made the characters look even more like dolls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there were a lot more CGI in this. CGI people. A lot of the, like, they used a lot more dolls, like, you know, like crash dummies, basically, in Fury Road. I think a lot of it was CGI here. But before we start, like,
yes,
I don't want to be too dark. Like I said, it was still a good movie. I enjoyed it.
Sure.
There were some things that I didn't. I mean, there were things with the script I really didn't like, though. So like,
no, I agree. Like. Yeah, what I thought of it. I agree. I liked the movie. It's not as good as Fury Road.
No.
But nothing's really gonna be as good as Fury Road.
I don't think so.
I had hoped that they would have more of the grandeur that Fury Road had. Fury Road?
Fury Road.
Fury Road and Furiosa is gonna trip me up so many times. Because like nothing felt as big.
Some things
in Furiosa.
There were all those shots when you saw Dementus like full gang of 1,000 crazies. That was pretty epic because you never had that many cars in the last one.
Somehow it felt smaller still, but maybe it's because it felt more CGI.
Yes, and I think so too.
And
a
that
lot
made
of it
it feel
green screen,
small somehow.
Yeah, you can tell when it's not real.
Yeah.
And it feels more shut in. That's why not all, but most of those Star Wars shows that they shoot in the volume always feels so small because it is just one room. They have that room to move in, so it's very
you can't
prequel.
They have the space properly.
Yeah, exactly. But we're getting to the negatives again.
No. But it was still very exciting. It was so much happening.
So much happening, but not really much happening.
They didn't get anywhere because of it.
It was very meandering. But let's you know what? We always do this with these movies, and I'm biased here. I really want to talk about the positives first.
Sure.
First of all, when there was action,
great way of putting that, yeah, sure.
Yeah, very, very, I'm hiding some criticism. When there was action, it was spectacular. It was, it was on par with Fury Road sometimes.
Sure.
All the, like, the first big, you know, car chase with the war rig after they build the war rig. Wow. And you had Furiosa like, climbing underneath, like, kind of hiding. This is not
climbing up, really. Climbing over.
Yeah. And
climbing all over the place.
And instead of polecats, this time they had fucking flying guys.
Yes.
On parachutes and paramotors. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
The whole scene in Bullet Town.
Bullet Farm?
Bullet Farm, right.
Yes.
Don't want to say too much, but fucking epic. That whole sequence. Like, the action was really good.
Yeah,
and that's what you're expecting. I mean, that's George Miller. He's always done great action. I mean, from the first Mad Max, the action's always been spectacular because he allows like stuntmen and you know, stunt
professionals to be involved in how it actually looks.
Yeah, and do, you know, let them loose basically.
Yeah.
So all that was great. When there was music, it was good. It's the same guy, Tom Holkenborg.
It didn't capture my attention the same way it did in Inferior Road.
No.
It didn't capture my attention at all, really, at times.
There was one moment where it really worked to emphasize the excitement. And I
think that was in the bullet farm, wasn't it?
No, it's after that. It's towards the end. When they split up and she's chasing one of them.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And the music started really swelling because she came up over a dune and they were below and stuff like that. I was like, it was really building. I was yes. But that was it, though. And
I want to say that Chris Hemsworth was really good.
Chris Hemsworth was good.
Dominated whenever he was on the screen.
Dementis was a lot of fun. And once again, that proves how good of a director George Miller is, that he got that great of a performance out of him. I'm not saying he's bad. He's done good
but he's
before.
a little bit one note.
Yes.
And it's still the same kind of... It's the same kind of character.
Yes.
But, a little bit different. A little bit more menacing and evil.
Yeah. No, yeah, they've kept the tradition of having... interesting and completely psychotic bad guys.
Yes.
Like Toe Cutter in the original, whatever he's called in the second one, I don't remember. The big hulking, it's a Swedish guy playing him. It's a Swedish bodybuilder.
Right.
And then, of course, Auntie Entity. She's the most, collected and reserved, which is always why that movie's kind of the black sheep, sort of, until now, maybe. But she's still, there's Master Blaster and stuff in that movie. And then, of course, fucking Immortan and his Kama Crazy War Boys, which, even there, that's the best bad guy in these movies. God damn, he's good.
Yes.
And just like everything else in this movie, kind of nerfed in this one. But also because he wasn't the main bad guy.
Exactly. That's why, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same actor, was it?
No. He's way too old. It was the same guy who played the People Eater and stuff like that, but Immortan Holm was Lackey Hulme? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Lackey Hulme.
Yeah.
True, yeah. I think.
Striking, intense actor. Never seen him before.
So you mean Rictus and Scrotus, were they the same?
Rictus was. I don't really remember Scrotus from Fury Road. Was he even in it?
Josh Hellman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's in it.
Oh, okay, but they don't really talk about him.
But he plays the same actor plays Slit in Fury Road.
Oh, that's Slit. Oh, cool.
So he got promoted, I guess.
Yeah.
But who played? Oh, whatever.
I don't remember Scrotus. And what was...
I remember he's in it, but I don't remember him doing much.
At first, I thought that was they were winking at the Mad Max video game, which came a few years after the movie. Do you even remember that? They made open world
vaguely.
Mad Max game, which everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's the Fury Road game." So no, this is a separate kind of thing. Just like every Mad Max movie really is a separate movie.
Yeah.
I had a discussion with someone on Twitter about that. It's like, no, saying Fury Road was a reboot. I was like, no, shut up.
No.
They're all their own stories. So they're sequels, but they're not. I mean, they're connected, but they're not. They're just movies.
Yeah.
Because that's what he always said. They're just another Mad Max story. It's not like plots hanging together and stuff, and people saying like, oh. Yeah, so the little kid from Road Warrior, that's the grown-up Max. And no. It's the same Mad Max.
Furiosa is...
Here it is a connection. Yeah,
a direct prequel to Fury Road.
Yeah. By the way, I gotta check here the game.
I didn't find any Scrotus on the Fury Road IMDb, so maybe there wasn't one.
Yeah! Here, the plot. I don't read the whole thing, but here. Yeah. Max, the War Boys, they're War Boys. Yes. He runs into War Boys led by Scabrous Scrotus. That's why I knew the name. Son of Immortan Joe and ruler of Gastown.
The one that came from 2015, right?
Yeah, the game, yeah. No, 2015. Maybe it was. I don't know.
Yeah, same as the movie.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
A
later.
former highway patrol officer known across the post-apocalyptic wasteland of Australia as Mad Max has his V8 interceptor stolen by Immortan Joe's warlord son, Scrotus.
Yeah, exactly.
He goes on a bloody crusade to take it back.
So, wow, that means that the game is canon, I suppose?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Scrotus does not show up in Fury Road. He was invented
No,
for
I couldn't
the
find
video
him in the
game.
credits.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, cool detail.
Yeah.
That they honored the game, because the game obviously didn't capture... I mean, it was fun, but it didn't really capture the madness of the movies. To some extent, but not Fury Road. Either way. What... I've been talking a lot. What did you like about the movie?
Unfortunately, I just kept sitting there going, it's not Fury Road, it's not Fury Road. I enjoyed it still. I had a hard time separating it.
Yes.
But I liked most of the acting. I liked most of the background story, because Furiosa is a very interesting character, even in Fury Road.
Oh, yeah.
And it was interesting to know more about the place she's trying to get to in Fury Road.
Yeah.
And we know that that's where she's from properly. We understand more about it.
Yeah.
A little bit frustrating with certain like plot details that just... I'm curious to know how they didn't manage to understand that she left when she was put in that Oasis thing that Immortan Joe has, and then all of a sudden there shows up this fantastic mechanic that reminds Rictus of someone, and no one bats an eye at that she's like the only woman working with the
yeah.
what are they called? The boys?
The War Boys.
War Boys.
Yeah.
I wanted to call them something else. There's small details like that. No comments about that at all. I'm like, but you made a point of showing her hair growing into the branch. Did you not want to do something with that?
Yeah.
So unfortunately I got stuck on details.
Yeah.
I think I need to watch it again to just like block that out and just watch it. But whenever there was action or something really going on, that's what I focused on.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy it. I did very much enjoy it. I didn't even feel like it was too long most of the time.
I felt in the beginning...
After 2 hours, I started going, okay, this should be over soon. And yeah, it was.
For me, it was the other way around. I felt in the beginning, which, once again, I want to talk about the first half hour of the movie.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But when it got going, I was like, all right, here we go. And it was pretty good for the last,
it was a little bit slow.
Third.
A little bit slow at first, and then... And then towards the end, I was like, okay, we're done now, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we were done, so it was fine.
We were done, yeah. We were done. I don't know if this is spoiler or not, on a kind of an anticlimax. A little bit.
Yes. And as much as I like Anya Taylor-Joy...
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the whole... being the only female and being super badass and being perfectly great at everything... kind of bothered me.
I don't know, it didn't bother me.
She didn't have enough flaws.
She wasn't... she wasn't, like, Ray levels of perfect. That's always going to be, like, the measurement now of, like, bad writing for your protagonist. She's awful.
But that one big action scene on the rig, like...
Yeah,
she didn't even stumble.
I didn't really register that, to be honest. Now that you mention it, yeah. But I mean, there was still, she did get hurt. She suffered a lot in the beginning. Before she got badass. And even after she got badass, she got hurt. She needed help from Praetorian Jack.
Yeah.
That was a character that came out of nowhere.
Exactly. I was about to say that. Who the heck is he?
Yeah.
Also, I didn't recognize the actor at all.
Tom Burke. He looked
He's in some stuff,
super derpy.
but like...
He played Orson Welles in Mank. Yeah, I can see that. He looks kind of like a young Orson Welles, yeah. Anyway. Ooh, he's an only god.
But no, overall I did enjoy it. It was fun to watch.
It has an 80 meta score, which I can see why, but I don't think it's that good.
It's a little bit high for it.
It's a little high, unfortunately.
Luckily, Fury Road still has 90, so I mean that's more representative.
I also
very much enjoyed all of the costumes and
yeah.
like details of every single ride and person.
Like
and
those things, yeah, those are amazing.
Still fantastic.
Yeah.
Even like the small things, like the people crawling in and out of holes in the Citadel, and like how they harvest maggots from dead people and shit.
Yeah.
Disgusting, but like a cool detail, because obviously protein is hard to come by.
Yeah.
So that's how they do it. It's like, ooh, okay, cool, nice detail.
Wow.
So yeah, and overall, it's a good movie. It's not 80. Not really.
It has a lot of course, 10 out of 10s. A lot of like, high 80s.
I haven't even looked at
Enemy
it
just writes 10 out of 10 and writes brilliant and unmissable.
That's not a review, but sure.
Yeah. And here from Consequence, the strengths of Furiosa do not eclipse Fury Road. No. To be clear, nor does the latter film shine as far superior. Instead, they really are two pieces of the same puzzle, different in their scope but connected not just by characters but by ethos and aesthetic. It's the ultimate double feature. I don't know. I don't even know that they do connect. Yeah, they connect by character, obviously.
Yeah.
But by ethos, like, no, this is a revenge story, not an emancipation story. Like, that one is about breaking free. This, Fury Road is.
Yes.
It's all about
this one
breaking free, breaking the shackles of patriarchy and misogyny.
Yeah.
This was just a revenge story.
This is pure revenge.
Yeah. I mean, there's hints of that because of where she came from and who she is as a character. But also, like, she wasn't really mistreated as a woman, you know. Nobody, like, there was no thankfully no like attempted rape scene or anything. They got rid of that immediately when Dementus was like, up. She comes with me. Yeah. Don't let any of these savages get her. And then
even when Rictus like brought her out.
Yeah, no.
I was like, oh shit, they're gonna do something terrible here, but no.
He was kind of sweet to her in a weird way, you know.
Yeah.
He started calling her his daughter. And I think he started like believing that lie himself at some point.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which was fun. That always makes for, like we said, it's a complex or more complex character. It's good.
Yeah.
So, but the ethos, no. Aesthetic, yeah, it looks kind of like Fury Road. I mean, this one,
yeah. I
don't know if they because during the credits they play like highlights from Fury Road. Like, sorry guys, here's the good one. I don't know if they desaturated it.
No, they did. And also right? They picked like only nighttime scenes.
Yeah, because that one looks just as vibrant as this one does, right? I haven't seen it in a few years.
I feel like it looks more vibrant.
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I remember that. Like, it doesn't look that great, does it? No, it doesn't. No.
But it's also because I think we have more like red details and stuff showing up in Fury Road than we did in this one. Even though there are details, they're not as bright and as standoutish.
No.
What little red we have is not as much, I think, as in Fury Road.
No.
And I think this one is a little less colorful in saturation in general.
No, you think so?
It feels like it. I have to compare it. I mean, we're obviously, if you're not like used to what we usually do, for the companion piece this week, we're gonna talk about the other Mad Max movies.
Yeah.
I'm assuming more Fury Road than the others.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna try and rewatch the others as well, because I haven't watched them in so long, and I haven't even seen Fury Road in a while.
Yeah.
But just looking at like pictures, there's more.
There's more
color.
Green.
That too.
A lot of it is though sand, just sand.
Yeah, but like just like the
but you have the wives with a lot of white.
Yeah, but even like the freeze frame of the trailer, which is just Furiosa standing in front of like desert mountains. There's I don't know, there's more different shades and shit.
Okay. Well, yeah. I also read this from The Observer. Gave it a 10 out of 10. Miller is an undeniable storyteller and filmmaker, yeah. And Furiosa is an epic, sure. Here's though, they say it's a good thing. World-building creation imbued with its own vast mythology and expansive scope. And that's where we get to one of the weaknesses of this movie. And the world building. There is a lot of focus on setting up the different factions and characters to show, like, this is how they ended up where they are in Fury Road. It's like, yeah, I didn't need that information.
No, they're literally like point out, and here we have Bullet Farm, and here we have Gastown.
Ooh, this is
the Citadel.
This time we actually got to see Bullet Farm and Gastown, which we didn't in the last one. Yeah, but what does it matter?
Yeah.
What does it actually matter?
It kind of ruined the illusion.
And that's what
Bullet Farm was fine, to be honest, but Gastown actually ruined my illusion of it.
Yeah. And that's what we talk about. Like, that's when that's bad world building, when it's just there to fill out. Like, you don't need that. If it complements the story, the characters, the plot, then sure. But we didn't. Like classic example, even though that movie is actually kind of entertaining, we didn't need a Han Solo origin story, the Solo movie.
No.
Because we need to know about him. We're informed of that in the original movies.
Yeah.
Same thing here. We get it. There are these guys. They're all, they represent, greed and gluttony in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Morton Joe, whatever, the Bullet Farm guy. They don't really mention him by name, I think.
He was the Bullet Farmer.
Yeah, exactly. And then the people eater, who runs the Gastown. They're all, they all represent, like greed and lust and like gluttony in different ways. And also that then they run the three big, places in the wasteland. Like we understand. They're
settlements, I think they call them.
No, they had a name for it. I don't remember. The second fucking thing.
Yeah.
They represent something. Here they were just, there's the guy.
Yeah.
What does he represent here? That was the whole thing. We've been talking for a lot longer than 20 minutes now, so we're gonna get into spoilers.
So we're fine to get into spoilers.
Yeah, we're gonna get into spoilers. But just before we go into spoilers, like, Fury Road was about, it had a point to make.
Yes.
The escape, the chase, the turning back, everything, it was immense. It wasn't just, we gotta go over there now to, finish the plot. No, there was a point to it. It represented something within the characters. This one was just, it was plot.
Yeah,
it was they went there.
We gotta go to point B to do this, and then we gotta go there to do that.
But what does that mean? I don't know. She wanted revenge. Oh,
exactly.
Oh, okay.
There was a vague, like, behind it all, like, she went along and did all this to get closer to how was his name?
Praetorian
Dementus?
Jack? Oh, Dementus, yeah. But that's only the last half hour. Before that,
but she's building up to be able to follow along with the rigs to actually get out there again. But it's so vague. We don't get enough of her like thinking about how she's gonna kill him or something.
Okay,
so we kind of forget that that's the point.
Yes, and I want to talk about that. But from now on, there's gonna be spoilers.
Oh yeah,
spoilers. Even though this is not we said it's all plot and no point. But it's also not very, very plot heavy, so you can still listen to it and enjoy it.
Yes.
But if you don't want anything spoiled, turn it off right now, go watch the movie and come back.
Yes.
Patreon.com/Don'tMakeScene.
For everyone else who stayed.
Yeah.
Who's already watched the movie.
When Dementus dies in the end and becomes a tree, hey, I can do it again! No, that's not the point. Because she vows revenge. That's a big thing when she sees her mom get murdered in the beginning, tortured to death. It's like, all I want is revenge. But then after the Bullet Farm, she's about to just leave with Praetorian Jack. And then they get captured again. It's like, oh no, they killed Jack. So now she has a reason to revenge again. But didn't she already have that?
Yeah.
But
it's like Jack made her like let go of her anger and maybe I can live a happy life with him because I'm assuming she fell in love with him.
Yeah, but that was literally in this 2.5 hour movie. That was 10 minutes. And very vague. That's
vague.
That's like Rambo First Blood Part 2 levels of romance, where they literally they have zero chemistry. Then there is then there is the scene, where they hook up, and they're like, and immediately after they're so lovey-dovey. She's like, Rambo, will you take me back to America? He's like, yeah, I will. I love you. I'm putting all this behind me. She literally takes one step outside their cave or whatever they're in and gets shot to death, and he's like, no! And he goes on a rampage. It was kind of like this like that in here, a little more though, but almost First Blood Part 2 levels of what?
Yeah,
you have to infuse an artificial revenge story here when there already was one.
When we already have a revenge story.
So that was the whole thing. It was like, what was the plot? Was it that she would kill Dementus?
Yes.
Was that that was a goal?
I think so.
It felt.
She had two goals. She wanted to kill him and get back home.
Yeah. Okay.
But along the way she kind of loses track of that.
But why does she lose track of it? That's the thing.
Well, the thing is, they don't show us enough. That's my main issue with this movie. Is that, like, the middle hour feels like a long-ass montage.
Yeah, there's literally one point where the movie, like, progresses. Yeah, she says...
Two times.
She says 15 years in the end, so almost 15 years it progresses, because there is some time in the beginning as well.
Yes.
So, like...
There's 2 times when we have... like a time lapse of one thing happening that shows us, time is passing.
It's first when her hair gets caught on that branch and it turns into a little
the tree.
And then there is the 40 Days War, which they just gloss over. Like, there's a war between Bullet Farm and the
very
other.
Nice to see.
Yeah, and they just, look, here we see some flashes of people killing each other. Like, why wasn't this the fucking movie? Why didn't they meet up on the battlefield like, you... And they kill each other.
That's where the revenge could have happened.
Yeah. Shit. No,
I don't get it.
They got past that, and then there was just them out in the desert, like walking.
I have a terrible feeling that it was just like they looked at the script and went, "That's gonna be expensive, like hard to make. Can we
Then why? Then they have
montage that and then just
they have
you two in the desert.
But they have giant epic action scenes already. Just cut out the part about the 40-day war in the script, and you don't have to have that big battle scene. You could just they could have put the finale could have been at the Bullet Farm if you put that in the end. That would have been epic.
They could have even had the beginning of the war, so to speak, where they trick each other, all of them, and then just have a random meetup, like her going like, "Nah, fuck this. I'm driving out to meet him," and it ends up with like them separating or whatever, and getting him away from his crew. Somehow. That
was the big problem with this movie. That really was the script.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, and I said before, like, it's good. Like the script was pretty damn bad. Like when it comes to, like the plotting, like there was so much back and forth and stop and like pausing. Oh, now she's gonna do this for 10 years. Like what and the whole beginning. Honestly, I'm all over the place. Sorry. That really then messed with the pacing of the movie. The pacing also.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's more like the old Mad Max movies, which are more,
Are they also chapters like that?
No, that was a new thing. I don't know why they did that.
I didn't like that.
No, I didn't like that either. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't like it.
No, but it just didn't
It's no
fit.
Point. Yeah. But those movies are more sedentary. It's not constantly moving like Fury Road was. Fury Road is...
No.
It's too long
Fury Road is
car chases over 2 hours.
It's like a couple of days in the movie.
Yeah.
And that's it. This one takes place over years and weeks.
And it's constant motion, constant action.
Yeah.
But it manages to... And I mean, that script is simplistic, but they manage to fit a lot in there what we said with all the themes and the symbolism of motherhood and emancipation and stuff like that.
Despite just being big ass long car chase.
Yeah, and they manage to actually fit that stuff in. The characters are kind of thin, but they represent something bigger. They're they're avatars for the point of the story. Like that's why it doesn't really matter, and that's why they have names like the People Eater instead of calling him John. He eats people. No, he's the People Eater. He doesn't care about
to give him
life.
purpose instead of a name.
Exactly.
He's a purpose, not a person.
yeah. And that also helps to then put focus on the action. Here we had characters with names, and they had like there was this
there was
plot,
story behind them and stuff,
but it didn't really go anywhere. And that's also a problem with a prequel. We know where they're gonna end up. Oh, she kills the Mentos, but she's still stuck being a fucking bus driver for Immortan Joe. Yeah, and her goal with this movie was, promise to come back home was the whole thing with her mom.
Yeah,
plant a seed, bring
no matter how long time it takes.
And
make your way home.
She
and
doesn't.
Plant a seed.
She doesn't Fury Road.
She even breaks that promise because she plants the seed somewhere else.
Although that becomes the new home in Fury Road because they come back and take over the Citadel. So, but I know what you mean. Yeah, it's like and it really has that problem with not being a full story. Like it feels unfinished because we know the full cathartic moment for the character comes in the other movie.
Yeah, and I feel like this one ended too close to where the other one starts,
which is also annoying.
It should have been like, because the way I remember Fury Road is that she's been doing this for a while. She's been the driver instead of Praetorian Jack for years. She's built this camaraderie with the women, and she's built this distaste for Immortan Joe.
Yeah, and she has the war boys listen to her now because she's the leader.
We didn't get to see that.
No,
so I feel like there should have been years in between the movies.
Yeah, that's all.
However, the way they decided to end it feels like it was a night.
It could have been that some time passed, but it didn't feel like it. Yeah.
No, they didn't show that.
No. Yes, it did because the tree had to grow. That tree took at least a few years to grow. So.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So that's just another time lapse then. Yeah, but it's another time lapse before like the last scene, which is technically a scene from Fury Road.
Yeah. And it's also like
that's not the way you want to represent that. That's not how you want to present that. You need to show it more then.
Yeah.
Have more of a finite ending for her coming back and like her settling in with the war boys again. And then maybe have the tree or whatever show. Like we didn't get to see her come home properly.
And we didn't really get a lot of time because the big thing with the big thing in Fury Road is that the wives they're revered as almost like goddesses, but they're at the same time they're prisoners.
Treated. Yeah.
So To for us to understand, like obviously you want to save them, but to really hammer home the big feminist like message there, because that movie is feminism done absolutely perfect.
Oh yes.
Fury Road, yes.
Just to specify,
yes. We needed to see her like meet the
wife suffer, basically.
Yeah, sorry, but or see her start to like care for them.
Yeah, that's what I meant. We needed to see more of the her growing distasteful of Immortan Joe.
Yeah,
like
this should have been
something needs to grind her to get to the point of Fury Road.
Yeah.
But we didn't really get to see that in Furiosa. So that was just the time in between where we just watched the tree grow.
Yeah. And also, but that's also...
There's no motivation for Fury Road then, for her in Fury Road.
No, but that's also because we already get all the motivation we need in Fury Road. During the story, like, why would you do this? Then, because she comes from, I mean, they show her clan here, and it's full of men as well. It's a.
But the women are obviously as.
Oh yeah, they're
equal,
egalitarian. Yes.
Yeah.
But the way they describe it in Fury Road, really calling it the Vovalini, which I always thought originally was probably Volvalini, but it was too close to vulva, so they were like, Vovalini. Yeah. Like,
let's just move an L.
Obviously, it was a
I likened it to the
clan.
Amazons and Wonder Woman kind of thing.
That's why we have those fucking salt of the earth, badass old ladies in that movie.
Yeah.
That when she comes back, and we don't see any men at all. They don't even mention. I don't think they even mention men, because that's the whole thing. That was the whole thing. It was a female It was a female story, yeah. No, yeah, but like it was about females.
Oh, yeah. The entire story
was about
is
female, like freedom, emancipation, everything like that, integrity. And now it's just a nice place for people. No,
that's also kind of weird though, because it's the one and only like oasis in a vast land of sand, and no one's seen it except for these random bikers who happen to show up there.
Yeah. Well,
and also like.
They do mention that it's the pole of inaccessibility, what they call it, because it's literally in the middle of Australia. So I can forgive that it might be hard to find. What I can't forgive is that why not make it super Amazonian almost? Not that they're super strong. Well, they are very strong. They're fucking master snipers and shit. But that's fine. That's fine.
And can, like, a child can drive a motorcycle that heavy without, like, wobbling a bit.
It's fine. We're trying to make a point, though. That's the thing.
Sure.
But then, here it's just a place.
It's just a place.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel like. For as much as Furiosa is very, she's very tomboyish, she's very manly in a way, very masculine.
Yes.
She is still so defined by her, like, true femininity, by her womanhood.
Mm-hmm.
In Fury Road. God damn it, these titles.
See, I told you that would happen.
Yeah. And
yes.
And that's the whole thing. Like, they're hauling breast milk in the car she's driving. She's literally like the mother superior. It's that goddamn. What was the woman who helped write that movie? She wrote the Vagina Monologues, which was so popular like in the 90s. And I know people are like, oh my god, it's gonna be a fucking feminist piece of shit movie. No. I think she did a lot good for that script.
Fury Road, you mean?
Yeah. Oh, she might not be credited because I know she was just brought in to like consult. Probably somewhere in the.
It's probably it's definitely in a trivia somewhere, but.
Either way, whatever.
It's too much to find.
Yeah.
Speaking of trivia, though, I just randomly looked at the Furiosa trivia.
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy doesn't have a driver's license. But she did learn to do a J-turn on her first day of stunt school, so, I mean, she can drive, she just doesn't have a license.
Yeah. Vagina Monologues, Eve Ensler. That's not the name I remember, though, but maybe it is her. Let's see if they mention somewhere if you read about her. Selected works. Nah. It doesn't say. Oh, whatever. I know. That was
the woman.
That was the thing. Yeah, back then they're like, oh my god, they brought in a feminist to like touch up the script. They're like, oh no. I was like, no. I think she like judging from this. Then when George Middle and some other guy wrote it, I think she did a lot to really hammer home.
Yeah, they probably needed a woman's touch on this one too.
Yeah, because it's ostensibly about the same character.
Yeah.
And this one was really supposed to define her as a character. But I don't have any more information now, like about her as a person than I did in Fury Road. I just know more about what happened. But we
how she got there, but we don't know more about her.
No, we got it more detailed. We already did know that she was kidnapped when she was very young, and she has waited all these years for revenge.
Yeah.
That's what we needed. We didn't need any more.
I did think that her revenge was towards Immortan Joe.
That too.
Which it doesn't seem to be, but I mean, is that... I guess her revenge story changes a little bit throughout Furiosa first, and then obviously, I guess, with the in-between time, and then Fury Road. Because in Furiosa, her main revenge is... Do you know he's listed as Dr. Dementus?
Oh, no.
But Dementus, obviously, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And then, I guess, in Fury Road, she wants revenge on Immortan Joe because he is keeping women as cattle, basically.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, but I don't know. It feels a little bit like they went, she needs another bad guy to be mad at in the first movie, so let's create a new guy.
Yeah.
Let's pick the one who kidnapped her, probably.
Yeah. And then we get to first of all, the length. This is almost 2.5 hours long. Now there's a lot of credits, so it's not really that long.
It's like 2:10, I guess.
Yeah. But I
2:15 maybe.
But I mean, then Fury Road, which is 2:15 with credits, is just over 2 hours. Which, once again, perfect length. Honestly, between 90 and 100 minutes is perfect.
You know, it's listed as 2 hours
flat
on the dot.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, even better then, because then it's
exactly. So then it's like
it's about 110.
145.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Now this didn't feel too long for the most part.
No, but
it had moments.
The moments, like I said, that first half hour, and it also felt
Gotta say, the chapters didn't help.
No, there was.
They make it feel longer.
Yeah, and it also cut up the movie. Which, once again,
in weird spaces,
messed with the pacing,
the flow. Yeah, the pacing.
And also,
I understand having like time lapses and time jumps, obviously for age differences.
Sure,
but she was a kid for like over 30 minutes of that movie.
Yeah,
at least. Then we have this weird time jump where she seems to be older. We don't know how old.
When she becomes Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it's been 15 years then.
Well,
I feel like there's more time passing in between before we get to the 15-year time jump.
There is.
Maybe it is.
There is when she gets kidnapped. I think she's supposed to be 9. I think they mentioned 9 in Fury Road. Then there is like let's say a couple of years when she's hanging out with Dementus because you see her hair grow longer.
Exactly. Her bangs never grow, which also bothered me a little bit, but I guess they cut them.
Yeah, so she can see. And then then there is she gets traded to live with Immortan Joe, and shortly after that she escaped but stays there.
Yeah.
And that's when we get the say 12 year long jump cut. Time jump is what I'm talking about.
Time jump.
And then there is the 40 days war, I suppose. They skip 40 days in the end for some dumb reason.
I feel like isn't there one more time jump in between that? No, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it just felt like it.
No,
it was
there's time from her first time being on the war rig when she's trying to escape, and then her working with Praetorian Jack on the war rig.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a very long time.
That might be
weeks, months.
Couple of months.
Yeah. I don't think it's years.
No. No, that's true. I don't know. It just feels a little bit... It's the pacing. It feels a little bit odd at times.
Yes, exactly.
It's very chopped up and very, very stilted at points, and it just kind of lose the flow, and it ruins the movie a little bit. I understand time jumps from her being a kid to being an adult.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would have a child be the entire main character, and that doesn't work in this story.
Yeah.
But after she's grown up, we have this long ass, more or less montage of her just like trading her way up into getting into the war rig.
Yeah.
And she does it through.
Yeah, they show.
It's even before. It starts a little bit before she grows up with her like having to do the crane thing when she's small as well.
But the big problem is they have a dedicated scene to showing how they build the war rig.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's done. It's like, oh, so we had a little bit of a montage of building that.
But what does that matter? That is pure fan service. That's what I mean. That's pure fan service.
Yeah,
why was that in there?
No, I don't know. To show that she was involved?
That doesn't matter. That car doesn't mean anything. It's just four wheels that's supposed to get them to the green place in Fury Road.
Yeah.
But people, of course, like, oh, the war rig is so cool.
In Fury Road, though,
it's like people being like,
the way she talks about it is like it's her car. Like, she has been involved in building it, which this then shows, obviously. But it's not her car.
No, it's not.
It's Praetorian Jack. Praetorian Jack. What is
a Praetorian? Is some sort of military rank in from ancient Rome, which all this is based on. Not based on.
Yeah, of course.
You know, the Rictus, Erectus, Dementus. It's all like Roman.
It's boys in the Roman Empire.
Yes.
Literally,
yeah.
By the way, did they mention heaven and hell as much in Fury Road as they did this?
No, they talked about Valhalla.
But that's just the war boys.
Yeah, it was a mishmash.
Here we have Dementus talking about heaven and hell and stuff.
Yeah, because that's what he believes in.
I guess, yeah. We've been bashing this movie. It's still not a bad movie. Unfortunately,
no, but the script is
with.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the script is not great, but unfortunately, it comes also with being the prequel to a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
And unless you match that, which this didn't, it's gonna be bashed on a little bit. Not saying it's a bad movie, but you end up getting stuck on the bad stuff then, because you're comparing it to something, and especially you're comparing it to something that great as Fury Road.
Yeah, it's
inevitable. You can't really, which is another reason why you don't make prequels and sequels unnecessarily. Honestly, if they could have just made it a Mad Max story about a girl. Didn't have to be Furiosa. Didn't have to take place before Fury Road. It could have been after Fury Road.
Yeah.
Could have been any other fucking Volvolini lady, basically.
Yeah, sure.
Almost.
It's kind of funny because they say George Miller says this film's script was already complete before Fury Road was filmed. In order to tell that story cohesively, we had to know everything that happened. Oh, okay. So the script, he says the script was, no.
The story.
They had her backstory, yeah. So her character was fully written. Yeah, that's what you need to define a character, but that doesn't mean you have to see it.
Exactly.
What I'm trying to get at is, first of all, this movie could have been a lot shorter. You know how you could have made this movie? First of all, remove Dementus. remove Dementus.
Yeah.
Make it. I mean, you already have a great villain in Immortan Joe, who specifically is looking for young, unspoiled women.
Well, they call them whole life or something.
Yeah, they're full lives. Yeah, because they don't have any radiation sickness or cancer. Yeah. That's why the Half-Life boys, the war boys, are half-lives. Right? Yeah. Everyone is half-lives. But yeah, so that's actually, like, in a way, once again, what makes him such a good villain is that at his core, he is trying to save humanity.
Sure.
He wants to breed, healthy, full-life children.
To be able to breed more healthy, full-life children, to be able to repopulate, basically.
And he's growing food. He gives food to people, but he's also rationing it because he knows if they live like Dementus does in Gastown, they're gonna run out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what led to where they were. That was the oil wars, the water wars that they talk about in the opening. So yeah, his methods are wrong, but his ideas are right. It's kind of bad. I don't want to reference it, but it's kind of like what's testicle face? Kodos.
Thanos?
Thanos, right.
Purple dude?
Purple guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, his
Save the
intentions
planet,
are
we
good.
need
He
to-
wants to save the universe, but his methods are wrong. But
yeah.
I'd say Immortan Joe is more interesting and cooler, but whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yes. He has more interesting methods.
Yeah. What is Dementus? He's just a guy that rides around and takes things.
Deranged. I wanted to make a fun way of his name, but it didn't work. He's deranged.
Yeah,
that's all he is.
They add a little bit in the end, like, oh, I was also bereft of a family. Like, oh, where was that before?
He mentions that earlier, that he had 2 children. That's what his teddy bear is from. But
but he never feels like I never sympathize with him as a character.
No.
I don't sympathize with him.
And towards the end, you're not really sympathizing with him either. He's just using that to kind of throw off Furiosa. He hopes, but then
Imagine this. Imagine that the movie starts with Anya Taylor-Joy. It starts. We see, they build up, of course, the Citadel and everything. We see them roaming and, doing
wide shots
doing
of
their
just
war boy
seeing-
stuff, and then you see him. They do the whole thing with "Don't be addicted to the water, people." When he releases the water and everything, they do all that stuff, and then they cut to the whole when they're trying to race up the car in the sandstorm. That's when we first see Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa. She jumps on the thing
because she's the lightest person, so she jumps on, like in this one, but Anya Taylor-Joy instead.
Yeah, and that's when they start to build her character. And we all know it's Furiosa, but for the sake of the story, like, who is this go-getter girl, and maybe they even have, I guess that would be too cliche them, but maybe they have where she like fends off some war boys trying to have her, have their way with her or something. And
maybe not war boys, but some of the mechanics or something.
Yeah, sure. And that's why Praetorian Jack gets his eye on her. Like she's a fucking warrior,
Yeah,
I need her. I need you on my war rig. And during this, we have flashbacks to when she was stolen by Immortan Joe, because he went to the place with all the women, the Vovalini. He wanted healthy, full life women. So he would be the perfect villain to go there. But, he manages to capture a few of them, kills the rest.
And then we can still have, inserts of seeing how the wives are being treated.
Yeah. Because at first she is a wife. Turns out, though, she can't produce children. Not even healthy children. She's barren. And
Isn't that a thing in Fury Road? That they mentioned that?
No.
Maybe I made that up in
They
my head.
mentioned that the land is barren. When they go back to the green place, you remember the trees in the swamp? You just passed it. She's no, but and they're about then because she's barren. I don't think you produce milk. Maybe you do. I'm not sure.
No.
No, because there's no reason.
You could, but you wouldn't.
Yeah.
So most of the times you wouldn't.
Yeah. So she's useless. And they're like, oh, I'll just fucking get rid of her then. But then Praetorian Jack steps in, trying to make him more of a character, maybe?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I could use her on the war rig.
She's proved herself in other things.
Yeah. And then we have...
Or maybe she proves herself, obviously, I can still work.
Yeah. And then, instead of their relationship being
romantic?
No. Yeah, it's still romantic. But it's not a montage.
Oh, right, yeah.
We actually spend, instead of introducing him an hour into the movie, he's introduced half an hour in, and we spend the next half hour developing their characters and their relationship, and she tells him what she's doing here.
Yeah.
And then we have the rest of the movie as it is. Just remove the back and forth, her getting kidnapped by the Mantis, them looking for her clan, then coming to the Citadel, going there, then leaving, and then coming back, and them catching some other people, the blue people in the beginning. What was the point of that?
I don't know.
Yeah, there was so much. It was just setting.
That was just to build his show how Dementus became a bigger warlord, I guess. But the only thing we got out of that was the badass lady with the torn up face.
Yeah. And
who happened to be a character up until... but she was always on his side up until the very end, basically.
Yeah,
but that's
sure.
it. She didn't say anything. She didn't do anything.
Yeah.
She was just a face.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I couldn't find the actress. Like, I couldn't single her out.
Yeah. No. So imagine if you have that, and all this time she's working with Praetorian. She even like grows in the ranks among the war, but she becomes the Imperator, which she is in Fury Road. So, and she gains, Immortan Joe's favor. He looks up to her, she's the one who, she drives the war rig to get gasoline and bullets.
Yeah.
So she's important to Immortan Joe. But he, doesn't have to forget like they do here. They just forget that, she was a wife that disappeared. You mentioned that in the beginning.
Yeah,
that was so dumb. Like, wait a minute. So weird. You don't remember one wife disappearing?
Specifically a child?
And you're not looking, the latest one? Yeah. And you're not looking for her?
No one cared that she disappeared, and then a random person shows up with the mechanics.
Yeah, it was so dumb. No, instead have him kind of forgetting about her because he was going to kill her anyway because she was useless to him.
Yeah.
So
like he just threw her out, and Praetorian Jack picked her up and
exactly
got her working instead.
And then he starts to without thinking that was the girl I was gonna kill. He starts appreciating her for being useful this way.
Her skills, yeah.
And her seething, planning her revenge during this.
Yeah.
And maybe even have them, maybe not have this be as simple as a revenge story, but in the end they're like instead of killing him, how about you just escape? Take the wife. Praetorian doesn't have to die halfway through the movie. Just like you have the climactic end battle where he has I'll help you, but don't waste your life on trying to kill Immortan. Do something good instead.
Which is then
to save the wives. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess then because then she wouldn't be. Then you would need another villain for Immortan to fight against, so she can fight for Immortan in the end.
Yeah, but that could have been Dementus, but just not have him be involved in her backstory.
Yeah, just have him show up. Yeah, exactly.
Just have him be the reason that Gasoline Town fails and the bullet farm breaks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because that obviously happened before Fury Road. But we know that.
Yeah, that didn't have to be 90 minutes of the movie.
Exactly. That didn't have to be the main plot.
No. And in the end, then, you're in the battlefield. We talked about, her and Dementus fight, squaring off in the battlefield. It can then instead be, during this 40-day war, you have Immortan Joe and Dementus fighting. Yeah. And it ends with basically just them left on the battlefield.
That could be where Praetorian Jack dies.
Exactly.
So she can be the main rider for the war rig.
Yeah, and then they're about to fight, and she just flat out just shoots Dementus. He's just gone.
Yeah.
And then she stands there with her shotgun that she got from Praetorian, that she has from Fury Road, and she shot over the shoulder of Immortan Joe. So she's standing there, one shell left.
She could shoot
him down the sights, yeah. He turns around, and she starts trembling. This is my fucking chance, but no, that's not the point. Because if she shoots him now, the rest of the war boys are going to kill her.
Exactly. And then she will never be able to get to the wives.
Yeah. So she's standing there trembling, and he just goes, "Well done, Imperator! You are my greatest warrior!" And she has to kind of...
Furiosa! Yeah. And then they have the war boys shouting her name.
And instead she has to be embraced by the man she hates.
Can we fucking write
you build
a proper
into
script?
Fury Road.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need to stop just talking about stuff like this and actually write this down.
Yeah, no, but I think that's more like script doctoring than actually coming up with their own story. Because I don't think I could have come up with my own story. But yes, I could have done the script better. Georgie boy. I could have helped you. Anyway, yeah, that's what I think. That would have made for a much shorter movie, much more concise.
Yes,
less
more flow and better pacing. It would have matched Fury Road in the flow and pacing better.
Yeah,
because we could have kept it more as a one run instead of chopped up.
Yeah, and have a lot of it take place on the war rig if you desperately need to have the war rig everywhere.
Yeah.
build up the character, build up Praetorian Jack as sort of her moral compass.
Yeah. Build up the hatred towards Immortan Joe that we have in Fury Road, because we didn't get that. That was I honestly
he was almost like a good guy.
He was a good guy in this. They never painted him as a bad guy.
Not really, yeah.
I thought he would. I thought Dementus and her would like team up against Immortan Joe. I never realized that Dementus was supposed to be a bad guy.
Yeah,
in the trailer.
I know he was a bad guy, but I also thought they were kind of be like, you know, unlikely companions or something.
Yeah.
Nope. That's what it felt like when he says, "Do you have the ability to make it epic?" He was like, "Oh, they're going for one last fight against Immortan."
Yeah, or something.
That was also just that was purely a trailer line. Like, there's no reason for him to ask her to make it epic.
No.
What do you mean? Oh, make your death epic? Why? What's the point? Yeah.
Isn't there a scene in the trailer where she shouts that she's Furiosa? Or is that the one where she's lost her arm and she comes back to the Citadel?
Yeah, I think that's they kind of cut pictures and sound together.
Yeah.
Doctored, as it's called.
Yeah. Because I was like waiting for her to like turn around and go like, "Yeah, I'm Furiosa." And, like, I don't know. Just to be extra badass or something.
Yeah. That would have been nice.
Yeah. I don't even know if I liked Anya Taylor-Joy's performance for most of the part.
I was worried because I like her as an actress, but I, for some reason, I think I've been influenced a little bit about her.
She's a little bit of a pick-me, which is annoying.
Yeah, and what people say about her on the internet, like, you know, she's such an obvious rich girl and whatever.
Yeah.
Which I never thought about that before. I thought she played a regular person great in like The Witch and The Northman.
Sure. No, I'm just mainly basing that off of interview moments and stuff that you see online.
That's when
she's very proper.
Yeah, I know. So I
Especially
was worried,
next to then Chris Hemsworth. He's a bit of a brute.
Yeah, so I was worried she was not going to be able to bring, you know, the heft and
the rawness,
the rawness of Charlize Theron. Once Charlize, I'm here.
Oh my god!
I know she, you know, she's looking, but she can't find a man who can like deal with her. I'll deal with you.
No, you'll be a doormat.
I don't care.
She doesn't want a doormat.
No, so then I'll wrestle her or whatever. Anyway, but
trip her over.
I thought she was good in this.
Yes.
She did not have the same, rawness as Charlize Theron, but of course she's playing a younger version, so.
Sure.
She wasn't spectacular. No. She was good.
I wanted a little bit more from the silent moments when she doesn't speak, because a lot of it she doesn't actually speak.
Yeah.
I wanted more intensity from her in those moments. I wanted what's his name? Tom Hardy.
As Mad
I wanted
Max?
Tom Hardy as Mad Max and as
but she's
Bane
not mad.
in Batman.
She's not mad. She's angry. That's different.
Sure, you can still show that.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
there's
literally scenes of him, you know, when he's waking up after the sandstorm, where we just see flashes of magma. He's just, because his mind he's insane.
More or less insane, yeah.
I love that.
But she could have had more intensity to her.
Yeah, I agree.
To her eyes, even.
Yeah, she has very big eyes.
There were moments when she has... Yeah, but there were some... Just making them big is not intensity.
I know,
There's a difference.
I know.
She needs to study Tom Hardy.
Everyone needs to study Tom Hardy. Because
he does it very good.
He is the second greatest actor working today, after Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh... Yeah.
Overall, though, because we do.
Yeah, we
sometimes rate these.
Yes, and we complain a lot here, but that is a big problem. Is the script? However, since you know the movie is very action forward, you know, that's not something that completely ruins the movie, like it could do in a more, you know, character driven, like a drama or something.
Yeah. My letterbox just froze.
Yeah. If I would rate this, I would still rate it very favorably. It's a strong 7. It's a 3.5,
that's what I was thinking. It's a 3.5.
Which sounds pretty like bad compared to like the 12 out of 10, which is Fury Road.
Yeah, but it's 75 then.
Yeah,
instead of 80, which I think is good enough.
Yeah, I agree. That's 70. Well, a strong 7. Yeah, you're right. 75. Yeah, a strong 7. And I mean, honestly, this is not the worst Mad Max movie. I would still say that is Beyond Thunderdome. It just feels uninspired. It's not bad, but it's definitely the worst out of the 5.
I generally don't remember that one at all.
Yeah,
I remember like the dome.
Yeah,
and correct me if I'm wrong, but is that the one where a black woman with like big ass hair is involved?
Yeah, that's Auntie Entity who runs the Thunderdome.
Right. Yeah,
that's Tina Turner.
Yeah,
we don't need another hero. That's about Mad Max.
Like the only thing I remember from that.
Yeah, you have Master Blaster. And the pig farmer or whatever he's called.
For some reason, I keep thinking of Waterworld, but that's not even involved. That's another thing.
Yeah, that's a Mad Max ripoff. Really good one, though.
Exactly.
I love Waterworld.
I want to watch Waterworld instead.
Yeah, that's also something we should do. If you manage to watch all 4 of the previous ones, we should do like an official ranking.
Sure.
I pretty much know.
If I have time, we'll see exactly when we record the Patreon one, but if I have time, I'll do my best.
Yeah. But for now, yeah, we'll wrap it up by saying good movie.
Yes.
Could have and really should have been much better.
Yes.
And it
considering the core material and what it's supposed to be attached to.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what I said all the way back in like 2017 when they started talking about this. Like, why not quit while you're ahead?
Yeah, you didn't.
You made the greatest movie ever, and that is the 4th movie in the franchise. Give it up.
Yeah,
he was like in his 70s back then. You made it, George. You are a legend, a living legend.
And talk about going out on a high note if you quit there.
I'm not saying he like ruined it with this one, but this was a step down. Yeah. And even like if like everyone loved it, yeah, sure. But even if you look at the scores, if you look at the critics, they don't like it as much.
No,
it's a step down. You fucking had it. You had a full house. No, you had a fucking royal flush. Now you have a full house.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway.
Anywho,
Furiosa, 7 out of 10, strong 7, good movie.
Yeah.
Not as good as Fury Road.
Yeah.
And if you want to listen to us talk more about Fury Road, but also the other Mad Max movies, maybe a little bit of Waterworld. I guess, post-apoc movies in general probably come up. Check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. At the time of recording this, obviously that's not up yet, but it'll be up. And while you're waiting for that episode, there's literally hundreds of episodes, hundreds of hours of exclusive episodes that you can listen to.
We'll try and post on socials when we do release the episode. I've been a little bad at that, but we'll do our best.
Yeah, so check that out. Patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. But I just want to say thank you so much for listening to this.
Yes.
Thumbs up, heart, 5-star, whichever platform you're on. Yeah, comments,
likes, whatever.
All that stuff, and we will see you in the next episode. But until then, have a good one.
Bye.
The Spoiler Cast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It is produced and directed by Tobias Vedén and hosted by Tobias and Rebecca Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén. I also want to give a huge shout out to all our patrons over on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Mom, Dad, Christopher Belén, Danny Del Gaiso, Mac and Mom, Laura Kinney, and CK85.